Hello guys, I am trying to catch up on a lot of videos that I have told you guys I was going to film, and I actually did film this video. I filmed this video in May and it's September, and I went back and tried to figure out all of the footage, and everything was there, but I could not figure out the order. And I also realized that as I was going through it, that there was a lot of things new things had come in and things had been finished and, finalized, and I wasn't able to kind of show that part. So I'm going to try and film this now, and with the intention of uploading the footage and hopefully getting it published to YouTube in the next couple of days. So this year for our homeschool family, just to do a quick recap, I have 5 kids, 4 are still at home, and we homeschool using a program called Classical Conversations, and I will link all that information below. If it's something that you're interested in, please check it out, or if you have questions, feel free to message me and I'd be happy to talk with you about it further. I am a Challenge 2 director, which means I tutor sophomores in high school. My husband is the Challenge 3 director, and he tutors juniors, and that's the class my son is actually in. And then I have 3 younger kids who are in the Foundations and Essentials program, which is kind of the upper elementary area of things. This year I decided to use the Erin Condren Teacher Planner. I am thrilled with it, and this video is going to probably be divided into 2 parts unless I'm able to do it really quickly and it makes sense. My goal is to keep the video under 30 minutes. So if it looks like I'm going to go over that time, I will divide this into 2 sections. The first section will be I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. The first section will be the features of the planner and how the calendar and the lesson plan pages work. The second part of the video is going to be the checklist pages, and that's going to make sense when I get into the explanation of the video. I've gone into great detail and figured out a way to make traditional gradebook type checklists work for a homeschooling mom, and I'll show you guys that later, but it may make the video really long, so I'm probably going to try to divide it in 2 sections. So when I purchased my teacher planner at launch I think it was it might have been in May or June, I got the folio cover. I do this every year. When I buy the teacher planner, I let myself get a new one. This year's theme was the triangles, so that's what we went with. And I love it because when I travel, I can put my teacher planner in this. I can throw this in my bag. I don't have to worry about pages getting bent or things getting messed up. And the other thing I really like about it is I'm able to keep a few things in the front that I need whenever I'm gonna plan. So I pared it down really simple, and I have my blue and black Signo clicker pen. I have a Rotring pencil, and I have a Sharpie highlighter, the liquid highlighters. These are my favorites. This is the bare minimum. I have to have this to do lesson plans. So that's all that's there. I do have a long sticky sheet. These come from the Erin Condren website. I usually tear them in half, make them a little smaller, because I don't need the full thick thing. I keep a small ruler in here. I keep some Planner Kate freebies, a few sticky notes. This is a stencil from Ink by Jang. She is my favorite bullet journal supply person, and I have probably 10 of these, and they're in all my planners. I use them even when I'm not bullet journaling. They're great if you want to make a really nice checklist. I also use them sometimes to make my own habit tracker. If I want to track something, I'll write read for 30 minutes, and then I'll put 7 check boxes underneath it, and then, did we do that week, if I want to create a quick tracker. So I really love these. It's also a great page marker if you want to use it for that as well. Then back here I have 2 of the Erin Condren, I think they're called the stylized sticky notes. These are the 2 new patterns this year, and I just put them together and back here, because that way I find that they don't fit quite right in the book if I want to put two. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and then it makes it lumpy to write on. So I just like having the sticky notes here, and I use those quite often as well. So now we're going to get into the planner. I am sitting on the floor in my bathroom because it is the best place and the best natural light to film. So I do have to move my legs around a lot because it starts to hurt after a while. I did choose the gold coil, and I also have the maximum number of page protectors back here, which I'm going to show you in just a second. And I also had the maximum number of checklist pages, which I think was 28, and I did trim them down. I'll show you that in a minute as well. But it is a very big book. This is not a book that I have to carry around with me often. We are homeschoolers, so this stays home most of the time. I do take it with me to classes on Monday because I will make notes on what happens in my class with my kids and things like that in here as well. I try to keep all things homeschool in this book. In the opening, you have the dashboard here, which is great for wet erase markers. This is a vinyl that I have that has my name on it. I cannot for the life of me remember where I got it. I will try to remember to link it below. If I forget to link it, please ask me in the comments and I will find it for you. And I don't have everything covered in sticky notes, and I'm sorry I forgot to do that before I started to film. So let's see. Let me try and do that real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay guys, sorry about that. What I have here, this is the All About Me page and the Events and Volunteers page. So I do have a, Sean at Hoodalali Day created all of these wonderful gold foiled stickers for me. They're on clear paper. So I have my name, I have the name of our school, and I have the school year here, and I love that. This is just my personal and my husband's personal contact information, so I just have that covered up with a sticky note. Then on this page, in our Classical Conversations homeschool group, we have the Foundations and Essentials level, and then we have the Challenge Directors. Challenge is 7th grade and up, and then Foundations and Essentials is upper and lower elementary education. So she made these beautiful little stickers for me, and then there was just lined area for you to put that information in. And then down here is the classroom events and date information. And what I did is I just listed all of the main events that were happening at our homeschool community, and just so I had like a reference spot for that. So that's what I have here. On this page, I did actually use this as a communication log this year. In the past, I have bought stickers or covered it up in some way and created a reading log for my kids. This year I'm actually directing a program. My husband's a director, and I actually have a lot of communications that I have to do. So what I use this for is I track when I do weekly emails to my parents, any emails that I send out in regards to an event for our challenge program that I'm putting on. Also, I'm using this because this year we created a Facebook page for our class, and I'm also using this to kind of note down, hey, I posted a weekly update on the Facebook page, and just having a mark. I also will make notes of why I did it, and then if it needs a resolution, I'll make a note over here for that. The next page is I guess this is the yearly overview. I use this pretty much how I've seen everybody use it in the world. This is our master school schedule. Everything in my life is color coded in some way, and all of these purple dots are CC community events. If it is a light purple, it is a challenge only event. And then I use the silver, and these are all Erin Condren dot stickers. I use the silver ones for breaks when we're off. If there's a gold, like for first day of class meeting or a special event that's outside of the norm, I do that. I also have all of my family's birthdays on here in their colors. And I also track major things for my kids. So my son was on a mission trip at this part. That's what the blue's for. Over on this side, I don't particularly you know, a lot of people will cover this part up because the truth is at the end of June, this book will be done and I will buy a new book. But I do use this to kind of mark things that I know are coming up, forward planning. I'll usually use a highlighter. I won't do as many stickers. The only stickers that are here now are all birthdays. So that's how I use this page. And what did I do here? Okay, so in this page, I used some washi tape and these big month stickers that I got at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And I use this basically as an overview. I have not been in this section a lot. This is a section I struggle to figure out what to use it for. The reason that the washi tape is down and that I have these giant stickers on here is this book is academic and it goes from July to June, and for some reason this spread is January to December. To me, it makes no sense to do that, so I do this every year. I go back in with washi tape and stickers and I change it so that it matches the flow of the planner overall. And I decided to use it just for highlights and things that are coming up. So our first community day, we had back to school and open house. I went to a New Kids on the Block concert and I got to meet Joey McIntyre. I was very excited about that. So that's definitely written down here. We had our parent orientation. We did some info meetings. We're going to a Georgia game in October. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So we also had some travel in July, but it's personal, not really related to school, which this isn't either, but I was just really excited about it. So I wrote it down there anyway. Then I have my graph paper. So what I did here in the graph paper is I did a master schedule on this side and I divided it up for all the days of the week. I used stamps and I used some date stickers here. I just used to make them times. And I did it on both sides so that I could easily track what's going on. And I just wrote everything down that I needed to do for the master schedule, and then I will write things in as they come up later on. So this green line here, for example, is my son's soccer practices. He only practices in the fall and it doesn't happen the whole time, and then during the season he'll have games instead of practice. So this is how I chose to mark it. So this is our community day, this is our music lessons, this is our church times, these are church requirements that my son has, when we had Wednesday night activities at church, which actually now we do not, so I will probably just put an X through that because that isn't going to happen anymore. We don't have a class or anything anymore on Wednesdays. So that kind of thing. On this side, I kind of wrote out what I would like my perfect day to be, how the kids affect that. Then I did a cleaning chart over here with the cleaning schedule. And then I kind of did a morning, afternoon, and evening routine for what I wanted to happen each day. And this is just something we can refer back to as a family. These pages are still blank. And then on these pages, I wrote challenge goals. I wrote notes for my parent orientation in here. I didn't really use this because we hadn't really prepped for school yet. Then in July, I just put things down on the calendar that affect planning for school. So I needed to know when the orientations were. We were traveling on a trip, so I put down all those types of things. I marked info meetings. My husband was going to be out of town for a dive trip, so I marked that. I made notes over here. All of the washi tape is stuff that I had. I did not buy things to prep for this, and they were from the EC books, a lot of this stuff was. This is what the pages looked like, and over the summer, we weren't doing a lot of school, but I played with it because I wanted to figure out how I would use it. So during the summer, these four, I just made a column for each kid and I wrote down what I was going to have them do over the summer. And then this would be for myself. This was just tasks and notes. And like I said, we didn't do a lot of school over the summer. And then on this side, I only wrote in my husband's work schedule and anything that would change our normal routine. There's washi here because my son was out of town for his mission trip. And then here, and so I did set that up for July. We didn't do a lot of schoolwork in July. This was traveling days while we were on our trip. So that's how I marked those things down. In August, I wrote down when soccer started, our open house, and the games, and then also, you know, first days of school. These pencils are how I mark community days, and then I would use the coordinating, like the darker yellow over here was because we had an event this night. So I kind of mark all of that kind of stuff down in here. Then I started to use my stuff. So this was a setup of how I planned on using it. If you order this from Erin Condren, there are also custom header stickers you can order. You can do the color and the text. And so I did that and was able to create the sections the way I wanted them to be. So in this section is memory work for my 3 little kids. I have additional core work, which is like our math and our writing programs and our Bible study for Henry and Lily. I put that here. And then here is the essentials column, which is a class only Henry and Lily are taking. My older 2 kids, my older 2 elementary kids. Then this is presentations for all 3. This is core work for Eleanor, which is my 1st grader. Then this was community prep for myself. Anything I needed to do for my class, and then task and notes, whatever's needed for anybody else. So that's how I worked it out to set them up, and then I did put stickers in. I do not know why I did all of that and I've not used it, but that's what I did. So when CC started for everybody, it actually started this week for the little kids and this week for me. I didn't use this yet because I really wasn't sure how I was going to use it, and I didn't. But in September, this is what the September calendar looks like, I did start filling it out. So this is what our current week looks like, and this is how I'm setting it up. So what I do is I have that stencil that has those little squares. I draw squares in for the things and I highlight them so that I know who I'm checking them for. And I'm working on my essentials thing, but this is how I fill it out. Again, I only put the things over here that are going to affect homeschool specifically. I have done some prep work, but I actually put a lot of my prep list in another planner, or in my Hobonichi, which is right here, because it was a lot of lists, and so that was kind of in there, but I'm moving into this. And then here is how all of the stickers came out. So in this section, all 3 kids do it, so I just do a little highlighter mark. All 3 kids do it, and that's just how I keep up with everything, and I'm really loving it. So this is how it is set up blank. I usually just will pick a night when we're watching TV or something, and I'll draw in all my boxes, and then I just highlight. And that's what I've been doing. But that's what a blank one looks like. I am really loving this. I was able to customize how I used these boxes up here and create the list in a way that it works for me. I do have a couple of additional column stickers, and I have a sticker for my husband, and I have a sticker for my older son who is in a junior in high school. His work does not go in here because I'm not responsible for it, but I sit down with my kids each week and we fill out where we're at. I write things in and make notes. They did a lot of presentations over the summer, so they're not having to do a lot of work here. They did a lot of the prep work over the summer. So that's why that doesn't have a lot in it. And then my daughter Eleanor, I need to write down what she does each day, but we get her math book out, she does the next lesson. We get her reading lesson, she does the next lesson. And so I don't remember to write that down a lot. She's still very little and is not doing a lot of schoolwork yet. So that's kind of how that goes. But this is what they look like, and this is what they look like blank. And let me go into November so you can see one with no stickers. So that's how they look when you get them. You could change these to be anything you want, and the stickers are 100% not necessary, but I like having the color at the top. I also like knowing that it's clearly written what it is. It just helps me out. So for the rest of the book, I'm just going to show you how my weeks came out. What I did is I marked everything that I knew at the beginning of the year, and they really are filled out probably through October right now. It's mid-September. So this is a special class we are doing on Wednesdays. This is our regular community day. If we have any kind of travel or a break, I usually mark that with washi tape. As you can see, November is very plain. We just don't have a lot going on. December is holidays, and then I mark, everything down that we have going on. Here's January. And I used the Erin Condren, I think it's the monthly sticker book. I used that to kind of decorate a little bit. February. So this is a break that we have, no school. This is our spring break. I did that. It's very early this year. And then my little kids will be done on this day. And oh, actually, this is our field day. This is the last day of classes, but I put this sticker down. I need to try to move that so I can put one of my arrows there. And then this is the last day of challenge. We'll be finished end of April. May, I have some, our training usually falls right here. And then in June is usually our practicum, which it may be one of these 2 weeks this year. My kids go to camp this week. This is VBS. Summer dance usually starts here. We have a music recital and our dance recitals are already marked. And then it does actually go, you have a monthly for June. And so I have that marked out and I can pencil things in and go ahead and mark choir tour, things like that if I want to. Then I'm gonna skip over the checklist portion because I'm gonna do a separate video on that. But in this section, I moved, for some reason, this checklist was actually, I think it was up here at the top. And I just cut it off and moved the checklist tab down. And it makes sense because then you have the last one right. I just don't know why. I don't, you know, it wasn't even there. Now I remember. It was right behind July and I don't know why they did that. They didn't have July the year before, so I'm thinking that maybe they just, I don't know, they forgot. But anyway, I sliced it off using a paper cutter and moved it down and I love how it turned out and now it's in the right spot. But a checklist is simply, these are mine are marked up, but are these, I have 28 of them and I'm gonna explain that in a separate video. In the back you have a pocket and all I keep back here are, I did buy some Planner Kate stickers that were specific to the teacher planner. I bought the rainbow color and those have worked absolutely great. And then I also bought some teacher stickers like this, which have things like grading period, grades due, field trip, plan for sub, makeup days, all that kind of stuff. A lot of these I don't use because I'm not doing traditional teaching, but I do like to keep track of when did I complete their grades, so I'll put a report card. The grading period ended, when did I finish? Fall break, spring break, conferences, class parties. If I do a training, I do mark professional development. Makeup days, snow days, sick days, I do have these. That way it's just a consistent look and they fit in the planner beautifully. These are some other stickers that I have that just say community day and challenge only. I got these from Planner Press and I keep those back here too because they're specific to this planner. The back, I just have some Erin Condren sticker sheets that I purchased from the website and the things like that. Then in here, I have 3 of the page protectors. And what I use for that is, this is our Central Fayetteville homeschool calendar for RCC community with everything marked. So I have that. Then I have our E-Day calendar, which is that additional class I was talking about. Then I made a schedule for myself that lays out what week we're on in foundations, what the community day is, and what our challenge schedule is. And the only reason I do that is the challenge kids start earlier than the foundations kids. So I have to keep track of when my kids are on week 3 at home, my actual children, my kids at school are actually on week 4. So this just helps me keep everything straight. I keep all my extra stickers like these back here in this packet, and then I actually cut, the stickers were in the planner, but I cut them out and put them in this back pocket because they last better and they don't get torn up. And then this is the back of the cover. So that is the teacher planner and how I use it as a homeschooling mom. And now I'm going to do a second video and I'm going to talk specifically about the checklist. If you have any questions about the Erin Condren teacher planner, how I use it as a homeschooling mom, and if there's anything I could help you with, please send me a message and I'd be happy to help you out, or do a comment below. Bye. I hope this was helpful. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.